and welcome to Virtual Back to School Night. My name is Jacqueline Katz, and I'm your student's Biology 1 Accelerated teacher for the 2020-2021 school year. So a little bit about myself. This is my 9th year at PHS. Looks a little different than any previous year, but I am still very much excited for it. This year I'm teaching 4 sections of biology, as well as advising the science research program. In the past, I've also taught chemistry as well as anatomy and physiology. During my time at PHS, I've had the opportunity to work on 2 master's degrees, one in chemical biology and the other in cell and developmental biology. Besides introducing me to new scientific information and kind of piquing my own curiosity, this has allowed me to bring a lot of things into the classroom to get the students thinking more about science and what science looks like at an academic level outside of high school. Currently, I'm working on my administrative certification, which is going to allow me perhaps to be a supervisor or a principal in the future, who knows? But what it allows me to do right now is commiserate with your students about what it means to be a student. So we could vent to each other about homework and assignments and help each other move forward in the process. Throughout the year, I will always be available via email. It's right here at the bottom of the slide. It can also be found on Canvas and the PHS website, so please never hesitate to reach out so we can stay in communication. This year we have a few goals that we're going to look to meet, and what the circumstances have allowed is they've allowed me to kind of distill down what I see as the key features of the Biology 1 Accelerated curriculum and the key things that I hope students can take away. So I definitely am looking for improved scientific literacy, the construction of scientific arguments, the ability for our students to design and carry out experiments, as well as find connections between science and society, as well as develop important study habits that they could take through PHS and beyond in their next academic goals. So in order to meet these goals, we have a little bit of a game plan, and the game plan is going to start with establishing an environment of connectedness and inquiry. So we started this on day 1, and as you can see, these photos to my right, your left probably, what we see here are our students, and they have created images of scientists. So I just said to them, draw a scientist, and gave them about 5 minutes to put pen to paper and draw the first image that came to mind. They then held those pictures up to the camera so I could snap a quick screenshot, and then we talked about what we saw in common amongst these drawings and what that says about what we think about a scientist. And we started to unpack that, where we subsequently watched a TED Talk with a woman who is a scientist, but also a professional ballet dancer, to try and kind of break some of these associations we have between science and particular characters. We'll continue to hopefully unpack these associations throughout the year. Very often throughout the year, I'm going to ask that the students make observations from the world around them and ask questions to maintain that curiosity and spirit of inquiry. We're going to, of course, work on understanding some biological content so that we can answer those questions that we ask about the world around us. We are going to design and execute experiments that guide us to answer our questions. And then we are going to do plenty of reading, writing, and conversing. So one thing you're going to notice your student is doing pretty consistently this year is writing in a journal. And in this journal, the students are going to be asked to form connections between what we talk about in class and what we read about and hear about in the world around us. So they'll be listening to podcasts and watching YouTube videos and reading articles and trying to form these connections between our biological content and the content of our world, which I think is very important today as in the future as it was in the past. So we definitely need to focus on building those connections. When we build these connections and when we work on understanding biological content and designing and executing experiments, we are going to have the opportunity to collaborate with several scientists at universities. So we're going to work on a collaboration with some scientists at MIT and UPenn who have built computer simulations to model complex processes in the biological world. And our students will have the opportunity to work with and manipulate those programs. And this is called the BioGraph program. You will likely be receiving an email from me very shortly about starting up with this program in our classes. Also, towards the end of the year, we're going to have the opportunity to work with some scientists who recently came back from Antarctica, collecting data to try to make sense of a biological hotspot down off the Western Antarctic Peninsula. So our students will have the opportunity to work with their data that was just collected, ask questions, design experiments, and analyze what they find, which will be an awesome experience that will start up closer to the end of the year. All of this will be found and explained and submitted via our online classroom, Canvas. Hopefully your students have given you the opportunity to peek over their shoulder and look in. I hear shortly you will have access to this website, and on this website is where you can find the nitty-gritty details about grading and homework policies and all of these things, which are relatively standard, but all of that information is outlined on our digital platform. At the start of each week, I will post an announcement in the form of text and video so that the students know what the plan is for that upcoming week, as well as the homework for the upcoming week. The homework and assignments will also be posted on our class calendar. So as long as the students are staying present on Canvas, watching out for announcements, watching out for calendar alerts, they should be on top of due dates and deadlines. I will also urge that they perhaps use a planner if that's something they like to do, because I will be giving the assignments, I will be announcing the assignments for the whole week at the beginning of the week. So they're more than welcome to kind of plan out when in their days they're going to be working on biology. And I'll try to work them through some of those organizational pieces because we're all getting used to the circumstances here. So I hope this was informative on our little virtual back to school night. Of course, if you have any questions or concerns, I'm going to ask that you pop into one of my Q&A sessions, which will happen on Friday between 8 and 9 a.m. and between 4 and 5 p.m. This is just a time for you to pop on, ask your question if you have it, say hello, or chat for a little bit, and then pop off. The link was sent out in an email. If for some reason you're unable to make either of those times, I get it. Please reach out via email and we can set up additional times to chat. I look forward to working with your student throughout the year. Please, please, please stay in contact and have a good night.